Good morning, Lindsay and Phil. How are you today?
Very good.
Good morning. Doing well.
Good morning.
How are you?
Hello, Carol.
Hey.
Hi, Carol.
So you guys are very special in terms of your Zoho usage. First of all, you're taking advantage of lots of Zoho applications, which is always awesome, but you also ramped up very, very fast from nothing to knowing lots of Zoho applications and lots of different usages, and you're very creative with implementing the system. Before we dive into your company and everything, do you have a tip for people that are new to Zoho? How to ramp up and be somewhere like you?
I would say that they need to choose Amazing Business Results as their Zoho partner. And then from there,
No, the video is about you.
No, so really, we were at a point in our company. The company had been around for over 40 years at the time when we decided to do this. So we've been using some older systems to get us through. 2021, 2020 was a lot of opportunity to see some of the holes that you have in your company. So we're like, man, we need to get a little bit further progressive in our technology and how fast we can onboard people. If we ever want to have a surplus of people working for us and not have human capital as a needed resource, then we need to get our systems down. So we started searching around for different opportunities. And when we landed on Zoho, it really just made a quick fit for us that we knew we could fill in lots of different gaps, because when we started with Zoho 1, it's kind of a full buffet of everything you need. And then you can just start to go. And we just really embraced it on multiple levels and let it fill in as many needs as we could, from forms to people, to recruit, to other things such as simple as, using Vault to be able to hold back all of our passwords, those kind of things we didn't have, or if anybody had it, it was kind of a one-off to the side, that kind of thing. But this allowed the full ecosystem to be brought into the full corporate structure, and it has really been a great value add to our company.
And for sure, you guys learned it so fast that it's just insane. Every meeting that we have, you progressing in a crazy pace. So that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the biggest tip that I would have for somebody would be get the test demo version and really test and play around in it as if you would really use it. That was key for us. When Phil brought me into this, I guess not even a year ago, that was the first thing we did. We got that demo version and we used it, really spending as much time as we would almost on building the real system to see if it would work for us, practice how it would work, to where when we actually got Zoho 1, we were ready to hit the ground running, really had tested all the products and imagined how it would work. The other thing I would recommend as a tip is get your team involved, even if it's not somebody you've seen as a developer or somebody that you think is someone who would build natively a CRM. I didn't know what CRM even meant before we started digging into Zoho. We had been using a combination of, I had heard the term CRM, but I had no idea what it was, what it meant, what it would be used for us. We'd been using QuickBooks, a payroll system, a scheduling system, a text system. We had all kinds of information all over the place. And all it took was Phil asking me to look around in this a little bit, where as a user, my company gave me the opportunity to look into this and see, how can this help our clients? How can this help our employees? And how can this help us internally move our whole company forward to be faster, better, and more accurate? Because the ability to have that information that can update, that can be shared with the whole team in one place, we're already seeing less issues with data entry. And to give your team that ability to jump in and test and play, I've now brought in team members that it's almost a fun time when we're going in and helping build the CRM. Don't replace everything right away. We've had a grace period where I've been very lucky that we've been able to learn this and build this with just a couple users helping us build while putting real world use into it. So build one process that you're going to use frequently, test that out, build the rest of it out as you're doing it. Take your time and have fun with it. So
Yeah.
Long
I
answer, but it's great.
I love that you say to play around in it, because
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, when we see clients fail with their system, it's because they won't touch it. They have someone else in the company coming up with the customizations or working with us to architect it. And that's when it fails, is because they don't want to know how it works or what's going on or what's being put into their system.
Yeah, no one owns the process.
Mm-hmm.
Even that you have a full great solution, but no one clicks the buttons or play with it or create another system, just like a playground.
Yeah.
So yes, we see it all the time. I'm with you 100% on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole playground. It really is. I love it.
Absolutely. Now, just before we continue, give me 30 seconds about your company, what you're doing, just so the audience will understand what we're doing here and what is your field and so on.
Absolutely. I'll go first and let Lindsay kind of chime in on kind of what her team does. We're kind of a two-headed company. We have KAD Dental Staffing, that we use a CRM exclusively for the KAD Dental Staffing side of our company. So what we provide is human capital for any dental practice nationwide that is looking for either a temporary fit for somebody that's worked just 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 days in a month or a week or whatever, or someone that is looking for a permanent placement. So replacing an employee or growing a team and adding an employee. And we service all levels of dental professionals. So your front office team, business team, as well as providers such as hygienists and dentists, and then dental assistants as well. So we handle all the different verticals, and then we have over the last year and a half so added a kind of a third arm of our company. It's called KDS Dentist. It's part of KAD Dental Staffing, but it is dentist owned. So we are able to actually employ and pay dentists. So it is some requirements that are a little bit different in the industry. So we're really excited about that. And Lindsay has worked in the staffing office for several years out of our Central Texas office. So she could share kind of some of her perspective.
Absolutely. All that and more. Exactly what Phil mentioned about us employing and paying the staff directly. That's what led us to seeing the CRM as such a useful tool, because as a company that employs people directly, and which we serve as the employer of record, so we can send people W-2s instead of them having to chase down 1099s. And that's a really big deal in the dental industry. So we're pleased that we're able to offer this and have a streamlined process to make sure all the vetting is done, all of the client information is in there. So it's been really helpful for our company all around.
Okay. Now you said that Zoho was able to help you in the onboarding process and different processes. Can you share with us a little bit about, let's say, when you have an onboarding process, you try to recruit a dentist, how Zoho was able to help you in this process?
Absolutely. That's one of the places that we've seen it make the most impact right away. With being a staffing agency, typically what we used to do is post some job ads, and we'd get a few phone calls about it. If the person wasn't ready to schedule an interview right away, we never had something fully in place to follow up with them, check back and really chase down people that were sort of interested but hadn't gone all the way through with filling out an application. Also, we would have people come into our office for an interview. And of course, this is, pre-pandemic, but we'd have people come into the office for an interview and had looked into some remote options, but never really took that plunge. Dental professionals, when we're trying to work with people for staffing, they have really busy schedules. So trying to really lock in a time that we can meet with them and communicate with them, we realized would be really key. So we built in a process now where people can, using the recruit system, they can see a specific job on our KDS or careers.kds.com website. They can look for a specific or careers.kaddentalstaffing.com. They can look at our website and they can click on a job post. And if they want to apply for that exact position, that'll now email the recruiter, who is our hiring manager in there. They'll get the resume, they'll get information about the person interested and what job they're interested in.
So just a second. So you're using Zoho Recruit to create the posting. The posting that you create from Zoho Recruit is being shared on your website?
Correct. Yes, we're sharing it on our website.
Okay. And when people upload the resume or answer the different questions that you have on your website, it's being pushed back to Zoho Recruit.
Correct. It's being pushed back to Zoho Recruit, and also an email is sent to our hiring manager. This was a great way for us to integrate users that weren't trained on the Zoho environment yet, but we wanted to start bringing them into the process. So we have a lot of email notifications that we were able to set up. So we were able to actually put fields from that application, the mini application that we've put on there, to where our recruiters that are not using Zoho, except for the Recruit environment right now, they don't have to go into our CRM system yet. They receive an email that says, hello, this candidate has applied, and here's the information. Now, if that candidate is not a current candidate, they're not currently working with us, I have a separate link to a lead form that the recruiter can use right there from their email. They can submit that person to the CRM and get them onboarded right away with a note that they're interested in that job. Now, it sounds like a whole bunch of different steps, but just for a use case, last week, we had somebody find a specific job online, apply on Thursday, and I looked in the system today to check, or yesterday to check on the status, and they had already moved through the interview and onboarding process. Now, in the past, that could have been a phone call where they maybe expressed a little bit of interest. We then would have to schedule a time with our interviewer, and really kind of plan out a whole bunch of different steps through email. Now that was as simple as their lead went into the CRM. My onboarding staff was able to use a blueprint that one of my team members built.
When you're saying a lead, it's a new candidate.
Yes, it's a new candidate. So the new candidate goes into our lead system. So we've been able to build, using Zoho forms that our non-CRM users are able to use and submit the information to the CRM. So our trained staff members that handle specifically onboarding can receive that information, and we've implemented a blueprint within the CRM. And I was lucky enough to have a great onboarding specialist, Angelica, who dug into that, and we were able to find an extra strength in one of our team members in having her, as the person doing the onboarding, help build the blueprint process. Because who better in your company to help you build the blueprint than the user who's going to take that process through the system? So that's another little tip that I would definitely throw in for anybody thinking about this. So we had our user help us build the blueprint, and now both of our onboarding teams for Central Texas and for North Texas can simply click a button to review the candidate. They have specific steps outlined that they should follow. And as soon as they reviewed the candidate, they send an application, and they're able to then make notes via specific prompts, and specific tasks are set to follow up on that application within a couple of days. So we can actually move that through the system. And at any given time, we can run a report on what status our leads are in. So if we see somebody that's a dental assistant that's in, maybe they're in South Austin, where we really want people to join us and start working, we can definitely dig into our CRM and see, okay, we've got 5 dental assistants in South Austin that for whatever reason, haven't scheduled an interview yet. So if they haven't scheduled that interview yet, we can either follow up, or we can look at reasons why and retarget our recruiting process.
Now, two questions for you. So now that you have the onboarding process in a very organized manner, how fast can I start be an employee that is actually effective and working in the company versus someone that's learning for, a month or 2 or whatever?
Let me jump in here before Lindsay answers that question. So we'll hold the question, and I'll just say this as to build a little perspective. Just a few years ago, like 3-4 years ago, the only way to become one of our team members was to physically come into our office and physically write on a piece of paper your name, your address, phone number, and all the things that are relevant to you. From there, every bit of that information had to be physically typed into our system to become an employee. Multiple systems, QuickBooks, payroll company, all that stuff. You did all that. And now all the little steps that could be possibly done. Say this person's name is Jill. Jill's name written into almost all of our systems. How does Jill's name get written there? Well, it can be as simple as she pulled up a QR code and she used her phone to scan one of our forms at a dental conference. And then her name is in our system, and Jill will never have to be typed in again because it's throughout all the systems. We know that Jill is there. We know that is her according to that form she originally filled out by scanning a QR code while she was talking to one of our reps at a dental conference. That is leaps leaps and bounds ahead of the time. So we're saving all of that time of having to enter someone's name and their information, and opportunities for inaccuracy, and all of that is done from as simple as a QR code to all the way to as far as you can imagine back in time of how you would onboard an employee. We've come that leaps and bounds over the last 3 to 5 years, and it has been phenomenal. And a lot of that is even more rapid in the last 8 or 9 months since we're using the Zoho ecosystem. So Lindsay can go ahead and answer the question now, but I just wanted to set a perspective, of how far we've come in the last just recent few years.
That's insane.
I think it would be a lot easier now to bring on a new team member to the onboarding team, but I can say it's already easier to bring on new team members to our non-onboarding team because of some of the other features we've put in place using the CRM forms and other implementations.
That's what I was going to ask, if you have onboarded anyone for a different position.
Mm-hmm. We've since onboarded a few people. We have in our KDS dentist team, we've had expansion where we've added a KDS dentist temporary recruiter for Texas and a permanent placement recruiter as well, both of them using the CRM system. And we've actually had our temporary dentist recruiter using the CRM system to figure out placement options for our temporary needs, which has been a huge improvement. Before, it was a much longer process. So with training in the CRM, we now have a full sort of scope of work document that people can follow. So we have a checklist that's very straightforward. And the big thing for the CRM for training a new person is the email templates. The email templates have been key. When we've had a new dentist person come on for KDS dentist, the recruiter was able to go into a dentist recruiting folder, and they can choose from, here's your welcome packet. Here's your, welcome to KDS. You send this to a new applicant. They don't have to have that ramp up of learning exactly how to present the information. They can click the button and it's ready to go. Branded and beautiful and all standard.
That's great.
And you're using one template across all the users, right? With the user's signature on the bottom.
Yes, we've got templates that we have some that have the user signature on the bottom, and then we have templates that are branded where it's been really easy to clone and make different templates for, we have our special, KDS branded colors that it was easy for any of our users to go in and start to learn how to re-clone those templates and use those to build from. So we've got a nice array of options now for people.
In terms of the Zoho suite, which application you like the most?
Oh gosh. I feel like I like Forms maybe the most, simply because of what it has done, but that's because of the way it works with the CRM. So it's hard to say. I really like the interaction between Forms and the CRM, I think, as a whole. The reason I say that is because, like what Phil was mentioning earlier, we are able now to use the QR codes to interact with people at conferences and shows in ways that we weren't able to in the past. We can also put a QR code from our forms that is an external lead form. We can put that onto a gift card that we're giving out at a show as well. So we can also put that on business cards and eventually incorporate that in a whole bunch of different things. And I've loved that with Forms, I can easily clone it and put a different lead source as a hidden field. Hidden fields with my Forms and the CRM have been something I actually learned in one of our conversations, Lior, to put that into the form and get any of those fields updated in the CRM that I needed.
I use it a lot.
It's incredible. So I feel like that's I love Forms because of what it lets me do with the CRM. So I can integrate my forms, have that information get in there the way that I need it to get in there. And, just today I'm going to be uploading a whole bunch of leads from a conference that we went to. And now I'm able to include that it has, we got that at a show and a conference. They heard about us at which conference. I can even include in the CRM what time we scanned their badge, what time we met them.
Awesome.
I can see if they scanned our QR code and see the different links because I just cloned the form and put a slightly different source. So I can see it's the same form to the person, but did they fill it out from our business card? Did they fill it out from our website? And our website was a huge other piece of it. We just launched a great new designed website. Our internal designer, Jamie, did a wonderful job building.
Wonderful job. It's beautiful.
With so many clients. She's an expert at that. And on our new website, I was able to, without knowing anything about building website forms, I was able to build a form that's now on our website that's actually a Zoho form and get that to our web developers. And it was simple without any prior knowledge of just going and clicking around in the Zoho form settings to make it to where now there's an actual live, not link, but embedded form on our website. I encourage you to have any user in your business try this type of stuff. It's not, especially before you put all the company information and all your clients in there, there's no risk of having people try and build things and see what they can come up with. You might be surprised. So.
And the cool thing about that form is it's not just a form, right? It pushes your leads directly into the CRM. So you're not manually putting those in there.
It does. It goes directly into the CRM and then kicks off sometimes triggers, sometimes a workflow rule or a trigger will go off if the form is assigned to a specific person, or it will go directly into a blueprint process for our onboarding team to take it and move it through that process. So yeah, really Zoho Forms with CRM has been a game changer for me. And
so as for your clients, the end client that you're serving, I assume because of all those changes, also the client can get faster results, right?
This is what's exciting. You're absolutely right, because we've talked a lot about our employee onboarding process, but we also have built our client onboarding process into the CRM. It was important for us to be able to not only move the employees through the system quickly, but address client needs. If a client is contacting us and they need staff tomorrow or next week, we need to make sure that we have a client agreement in place for them, that we have everything on file as far as their office preferences. That can be hard to get when time is of the essence. So we wanted to build in a process where with one click, our team can send the client a client profile form to gather all the information they need to load into our CRM, and they'll send them a client agreement through Zoho Sign. So we replaced DocuSign with Zoho Sign and integrated that in. It's great, yeah. So we ended up integrating that in, and it's been a big change for us. We have some forms that are signed directly by the client, and on the employee side, we've even had some that are countersigned. So there's an easy process to send a Zoho Sign form link to an employee or a client through a CRM email template, and then easily have that client receive that through a couple clicks. They can get that signed up, and we even have a way that our on-call team can do that if needed, to move that through the process and kind of extra steps of how to get them that agreement. So we can serve the client that much faster and make sure we have accurate information, and of course keep everything fully compliant, because that was the ultimate key, was how can we do it fast but be as compliant and on top of everything as we can, following all the background check steps, as far as clients, making sure that we've confirmed things like their PPE, all of the sensitive things that we've had to figure out during these times, to make sure our clients and employees are protected. It's been really helpful. So I just can't say that enough.
I wanted to chime in as well. Like I agree with Lindsay that it's been really great with forms and stuff. Forms are not necessarily exciting for somebody like me. I mean, it's like you build a form, it works. I expected on my level, what I'm expecting is like engagement. So engagement with me is allowing you to get to your message in multiple methods to whoever your audience is, whether it's a client or whether it's what we would call a field employee working for us. We need more of them. We need, grow our business. We need more of both. So how we engage with them is one of the really, really great things that we're now putting into the CRM. And the two products that are really helping with that, and we have more even coming down the pipeline, but the first two would be Desk and Sales IQ. And that engagement that we're getting from our website, and then from there creating like a knowledge base and a place for us to create tickets and that kind of thing. What we have found is when you're talking to a lot of people, having continuity of conversation amongst all of your people, all the touches that they're going to go across there, when that is all stored in the CRM, I don't need to call my friend down the cubicle and say, hey, what did you say whenever you talk to them? That information is stored inside their record, inside the CRM through Desk. And when you had that conversation with them and you had that call, you even made that call from the CRM, or you sent that text message from the CRM, that conversation is recorded real real time. So adding that in, bringing in the communication, bringing in the engagement part into our CRM is huge. We've already started doing it on some level, but like over the next few months, we're going to even fully engulf what we do in the CRM. So every interaction with our clients or our field employees, 100% of the time will happen within the CRM. That'll be a new, different business behavior for us, because right now phone calls happen in one system, text messages happen in a different system, and then emails happen in a totally different system. So we're going to bring all of that together.
That's
and
powerful.
As we put that together, every touch, I think ultimately it'll be a great tool for even the new hires, like Lindsay was talking about, is because they won't have to do a lot of research and systemology to find out this client. They can go to one source in CRM and see the whole history top to bottom and know that who's worked on that project. If there was a project that we added in for this client to bring on somebody over the next 6 months, or maybe bring on multiple people, they can just go right there and see it all right there. So it's going to be great as we integrate all the systems together. So that kind of stuff gets me way more excited than building something that's kind of matter of fact about a form. But I understand where Lindsay has to do all these steps. And I would say it's a good tip. You have to build all these steps to get to there. So we didn't get to the point to where I'm excited about in December. We're just finally getting here in September.
I can tell you also the same on the same note. When we have, because we are also as a company, we're expanding, and one of the roles that is always being fulfilled with new people is the admin.
Yeah.
And we're using tons of applications. We have also, SMS, emails, meetings, tasks, related modules, millions of them. And how can you train a new employee of everything that is going on with the client?
Yeah.
But when you go to the contact, you have everything on one page, all the SMS conversations, phone recording, meetings, tasks, everything, opportunities, invoices, estimates, it's all on one page. And it's so easy.
And truly, I mean, not that anybody might do this, but they could. I mean, you could truly build a CRM canvas for your new employees and only show them the things they need to allow them to not be overwhelmed by the junk, because there could be so much data there. As we import historical data for lots of our clients, we know that if our people who are not used to the system see too much, it's overwhelming, and that slows your adoption. So as we create custom canvases and stuff like that in the future, it's going to really say, this is what you need to do your job. Here it is. Now, don't look elsewhere until we tell you to.
The canvas is awesome.
With your processes becoming more efficient and quicker, is that allowing you to grow without having to hire so many new people for your own business?
I mean, I think we're kind of naturally in a spot where we are growing and expanding. We're definitely in a spot to where we're able to finally take a moment, take a breath, and see the best way to allocate our current resources. So we're in a really strong season right now of seeing the opportunity of, going in and assessing our current team of about 25 or 30 people that work in the core corporate office, and then saying, hey, what do you want to do with your time with our company? And let's see if we can put you in an area that really help grow that as we give you more tools to do your job. So not everybody that is doing what they're currently doing at the moment may not be doing that, 3 to 6 months from now, because we are creating, seemingly we're going to be creating like new positions that are more specific for being able to work faster and quicker engagement, rather than saying, hey, I would say some of our business processes a few years ago were kind of everybody does everything. And now we realize that with the streamlining through the ecosystem of Zoho, as well as the software that we proprietary are building and are bringing all our peripheral systems together, it allows us to say, we can do a lot of things faster. So if you do a whole lot of this, then you can grow in this area or whatever. So I think we're creating a lot of opportunities that maybe are not even seen, but we're growing fast and adding, we've added more people since the beginning of kind of the pandemic era than we probably added in the 3 to 5 years prior to that. So it's been pretty amazing to see that we just embrace the opportunity to assess ourselves and say, hey, let's grow with it, and let's really take a lead in the industry.
Well, congratulations.
I feel like we would have had to hire, yeah, it's been an exciting year as far as our growth internally. But I think with that growth, we would have had to hire an extra onboarding person earlier. I think that's why we haven't had to hire an extra onboarding person, but the volume of people that have been coming in to our Central Texas team to apply and have interest from that, interest in our website, interest in our shows. What's been really good to see is we haven't had to hire for that position. We've been able to hire where we can add growth to our company with recruiters, with schedulers, coordinators, instead of having to hire people just to do paperwork.
That's great.
Okay. Look, it's exciting, and it's really remarkable the way that you were able to grasp the system. It's a beast to grasp the system and work with it and create things. Just awesome. I'm very, very, very impressed with your company and your capabilities. It's amazing.
Thanks.
Okay, guys. So thank you very, very much for joining me today. I think I learned a lot about your processes, and I'm sure other people as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. It's been great.
Thanks. Bye-bye.